Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Do you have some dull, boring old furniture lying around in a corner of your home and raises a concern every time you pass by? No worries, in this video we'll see how to give a makeover to such old furniture using some paint. But before jumping into the video, if you like to see more of a home decor video, click on that subscribe button and the bell icon so that you'll get notification every time I upload a video. The very first and very important step in this process is cleaning the furniture. Never neglect this step because if the furniture surface is dirty or greasy, there is a very good chance of paint chipping away later. Use a cleaning liquid or a soap with a scrub to clean away the dirt and dust from the furniture, and then use a wet cloth to wipe off the soap. Once you clean the furniture with the soap and scrub, use a wet cloth to clean away the soap and dirt. Now repeat the same process for rest of the furniture. After cleaning, this is how the furniture looks, and once it is dry, it's ready for the second step, which is wood filling. For this step, you'll need a wood filler. I used this one from Shinlac. Also, you'll need a wood filler knife like this, which is available in any hardware store. Actually, wood filling step is optional. You can go for the step when you have a hole on a furniture or if you want to level out a rough surface. We had a plastic trim going around the edges of the plywood, which we removed now. So to cover up the rough edges, I'll use a wood filler to smoothen the surface. Take a good amount of filler in the knife and start applying on the area that needs to be covered, and then gently level up the filler. Repeat the same process for rest of the furniture. Once you are done with this step, leave it for 6 hours so that the wood filler will dry. Once the wood filler is dry and set, use a 80 grit sandpaper and start sanding both the wood filler and the wood surface. Sanding the furniture before painting it actually ensures that we have a rough surface that helps the paint to hold on. While sanding a furniture which is already painted or varnished, it's not required to do a deep or rough sanding so that the first layer will come off. Just make sure that the top glossy layer is removed and the surface of the furniture is rough enough to hold on the paint. After sanding the furniture, clean it thoroughly so that there is no dust left on the surface before applying the primer. For this step, you will need some wood primer. I used Asian Paints True Care wood primer. Also, you will need a brush or a roller like this to apply the primer on the furniture. Mix the primer well using a stick and pour it on a plate or a tray. Now dip your brush or roller into the primer and remove the extra. Now start painting your furniture using the brush. Before starting with the primer, make sure you cover the inner parts of the furniture before you paint the outer part. Because if you paint the outer part first, it will be really hard to reach out to the inner section of the furniture without touching them. For example, while painting this table, I started applying the primer on the inner section before painting the legs because I might need to touch the legs while painting the inner parts of the furniture. So always remember to paint the inner parts before starting with the outer part of the furniture. Primer basically helps to hold the paint on the surface for a longer duration so that the paint won't tear away or chip off. Also, the primer acts as a base color if you choose a light color for your furniture. This is how the table looks after a thin coat of primer. Leave it for 6 hours for drying. Once the primer is dry to touch, use a 120 grit sandpaper and gently sand the furniture. To check whether the furniture is ready for sanding after primer, just touch different parts of the furniture. If it is not sticky, then it's ready for sanding. Once you are done sanding the whole furniture, use a dry cloth to remove the dust from the surface of the furniture. For painting, I used Asian Paint Apcolite Satin Enamel and the shade is Lemonade 7830. And I used this normal flat brush to apply the paint on the furniture. Before starting, mix the paint well in the can using a stick and pour it on a tray. Now dip the paintbrush into the paint, remove the excess and start painting the furniture in thin coats. Applying the paint in thin coats helps the paint to dry faster. Always go for multiple thin coats instead of single thick coat. This is how the table looks after a single coat of paint. Now leave the furniture for 6 hours for drying. After 5 to 6 hours, once the paint is dry and not sticky, start sanding the furniture gently with a 120 grit paper. Once the sanding is completed, remove the dust using a dry cloth. For the second coat of painting, repeat the same process as the first coat, and also make sure that none of the parts in the furniture is left uncovered. To check if the painted furniture is cured, use your fingernail and draw lines on the painted area. If you see the impressions of your nails on the surface, then the furniture is not ready for the use.